Obviously just not happy with how it went, but, at the end of the day, we did get the win.
Now, let's keep it in Big D. Chris Canty on what success for the Cowboys this coming season would look like.
For year one, Brian Schottenheimer, head coach, be in the playoffs.
Be in the playoffs.
Be in the playoffs. Now, that's a tall order when
Yes,
you consider the NFC. I mean, you got so many teams that are going to be vying for playoff spots. Let's just call it every team in the NFC North, 3 teams in the NFC East. Any one of 3 teams can win the NFC South. And you're talking about 2 dominant teams, what we expect to be dominant teams in the NFC West with the Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. So you realize there ain't going to be enough chance when the music stops on the regular season. Somebody's going to be left out in the cold. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, you got to figure out a way not to be one of those teams not in the playoffs.
Which way are they trending? That's the question. And Micah Parsons doesn't have his big deal done yet. These deals somehow find a way to get done with Jerry Jones. Bobby Carpenter, former Cowboys linebacker, Ohio State Buckeye linebacker, joining Amber and Ian on that subject.
Jimmy Sexton told me when dealing with the Cowboys, deadlines make deals. That's probably the most true with Jerry, and as great of businessman as he is, when it comes to everything else, it probably costs you some money, and especially when you're dealing with a hard cap situation and stuff. But I'll tell you this, because you talk about it right up to the deadline. We're talking about it right now. If Micah Parsons got a deal done in June, no one's talking about it. And so I guess you're paying a little bit for some advertising in a way.
Jerry Jones always seems to wait to that deadline, then caves and gives up the big money for those deals. How about this? July 11th, 1914. Babe Ruth made his major league debut for the Boston Red Sox as a pitcher, received credit for a 4-3 win over Cleveland, were removed for a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. That guy Duffy Lewis single led to the winning run, but Babe removed for a pinch hitter? Really? Thanks for staying up all night. For producer Rachel Robinson and technical director Jake Boson, I'm Jim Basquill. Plenty ahead with Unsportsmanlike coming up next.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty, coming up Friday. Just how many quarterbacks have a chance to jump into my top 10 list this season? The number just might surprise you. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Uh-oh, you spot a work zone up ahead, but you're already running late. Hey, is that extra minute really worth risking your safety? Decision time. Will you push your luck and speed through? Or you mind the signs, avoid the fines? Yeah, that's what I thought. Slow down and pass through cautiously. Hard hats off to you, sir. Level passed. While the next work zone is loading, head to itsnotagameinllinois.com/arcade to play.
Is Joe and Q.
That's how LeBron has to approach it. Every single year he plays has to be about winning a championship. In year 23, yeah, he's not worried about building for the future, but the Lakers as an organization, they do have the responsibility to set this team up for success long term, and they made that move for Luka. Clearly it wasn't just a one-year rental, but how do you keep both sides happy? It's very difficult to win now and prepare for the future.
Joe and Q. Weekdays at noon on 1050 ESPN. New York.
Are you confused by talk about auto tariffs? Market shifts create a unique opportunity right now. Lower new car prices combined with higher trade-in values mean potential big savings for you. With no money down and lower payments with the Easy Lease, calling now could save you thousands. Call them at 817 or 972-35-LEASE. That's 817 or 972-35-LEASE. Or visit us online at dmautoleasing.com. D&M, the name you trust in any market.
We make leasing easy.
Ready to level up? Chumba Casino is your playbook to fun. It's free to play with no purchase necessary. Enjoy hundreds of online social games like blackjack, slots, and solitaire anytime, anywhere with fresh releases every week. Whether you're at home or on the go, let Chumba Casino bring the excitement to you. Plus, get free daily login bonuses and a free welcome bonus. Join now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Play Chumba Casino today. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. TNCs apply.
Oh man, you're late. The first pitch was an hour ago, and FOMO is taking over. You're tempted to speed. But what's the move? Do you hit the gas and rush to get there? Or keep it safe and stick to the speed limit? Nice call. Better late than never. There's no need to speed. Think you can keep making smart moves? Head to itsnotagameillinois.com to play the Retro Arcade.
The biggest names and the biggest games. WEPN, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
Unsportsmanlike. Lee in Alabama, 107.5. What's up, Lee?
Morning, guys. I got to weigh in and say that not following Michelle Smallman's advice is like hanging out with Warren Buffett and not investing your money.
That's exactly right. Listen to Lee and follow Michelle Smallman's advice. It's Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, and Unsportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with renter's insurance. Visit Progressive.com. No Super Bowl champion Chris Canty today. No Evan Cohen. But boy, do we have good replacements for them. I am Michelle Smallman alongside Courtney Cronin and Victoria Arlen. Today on Unsportsmanlike is for the girls. Ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. Thanks for getting up early. So excited to work with you both today.
Ladies' Day here. It's like we were talking about it off air. It's like it feels like ladies' night just because it is so early and it's still dark outside. But I honestly would venture to guess that this has never happened on ESPN Radio, going three wide.
Yeah, I don't think
three
it has.
women.
Not in my time here.
On radio, I love it.
And we got the beachy waves.
We all got the dirty hair vibe where it's like, I haven't washed it for a couple days, got to just like use the beach waiver and make something work.
Yeah, that's how I know this is going to be a good show, because without us even talking about it, we all have kind of the same look and the same vibe going on. But normally, girls, when I have my friends over, which is what you both are, we're going to hang out today, we're going to be friends, I want to make sure that everything is right. You know, you want to make sure your apartment is clean, there's flowers, your beverages are there. You don't want to make sure the environment is right for great guests to come through. And I have to apologize already here at 6:01 a.m. Eastern time, because you both walked into an onslaught of bad and offensive takes from Pat Costello. You girls walked in, and first two things you heard was Janet Jackson doesn't translate and lakes are overrated. So I'm apologizing on behalf of the Unsportsmanlike crew, because I wanted to make it nice for you.
You know, every time I fill in on the show, and we do I'm Over It, there always ends up being some sort of take that carries over and becomes like the theme of the show. So like last week on 4th of July, and today, Pat, correct me if I'm wrong, you go on your trip where you're going to take your frozen hockey puck steaks that you froze last week because you're like, I don't have enough time to go to the grocery store. It's too expensive, 5 hours away. And this carried the show. Like, it gave us something to talk about because his takes are so outlandish that it's like, it's almost indefensible. And I think I actually need to know where you two like fall on this. Do you freeze meat that you buy if you're going to use it later in the week, or do you try to like use it within the span where it's like not frozen?
But before we do that, the fact that you're going to travel, are you flying on a plane?
No, he's driving.
Okay, because I was like, you are for sure going to get on To Catch a Smuggler, and they are going to bring you in a back room and try to figure out what that frozen meat is, actually.
Yeah, Pat, you're driving there, so I think that's safe. You've got a cooler in the back, right?
Yeah, I'm loading up the cooler after work today.
I think they've only been in his freezer for the last week, though.
What is wrong? We're not. I don't want to do this again.
So I think it depends on the situation if you're going to cook it right away. But I recently fell victim to this where I got groceries. I was planning to cook some chicken and then realized in my freezer I already had 3 packages of chicken breast that I did not realize. So I cannot judge, but that was not on purpose.
Yeah, so I think that Pat is a very interesting character. I don't know anyone that will buy all this meat in advance, freeze it, and then drive with it to said destination.
Someone who is fiscally responsible, Michelle.
Why wouldn't you just buy it there?
Because it was cheaper. It
is a good ice
Pat,
pack.
here's the thing. Is it really that much cheaper?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Like how much?
By
like
$5? $15.
Okay, double digits is something.
$15 what? Per steak or total? Because if it's total, you're being cheap.
Probably about $15, $20 total.
Wow. Seems like a lot of extra work, Pat, for these
That's a
steaks.
lot.
Extra work.
That's a lot. I mean, you could have made your case known if you were saying, hey, I'm using them as ice blocks, because my family has done that where they're using them as ice blocks.
America is on my side on this one.
No, they're not.
The people of this country are freezing meat left
We
and right.
had callers call in. They did not weigh in with you. They weighed in.
No,
with
just
Myra.
one guy who owned a restaurant didn't agree. Which,
the culinary expert did not agree with you.
I'm not running
Love
a
it already
restaurant,
off the
Courtney.
rails.
I'm cooking for my family. I'm not running a Michelin star restaurant. I don't want to do this.
It's also
it's
a
6 in the
pain
morning.
to thaw out. It is.
Just put them on the counter.
Steaks are thick. They're thick, and if you want, if you're someone like me, I want my steak and I want it now.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I don't want
Eat
to
it
wait
right
for that
away.
to thaw out.
Well, ladies, Pat is trying to save $1. You know who's not? The Oklahoma City Thunder.
No.
They are not saving one singular penny because they are spending some cash. Let's run through it. We got word yesterday that NBA All-Star and, of course, champion Jalen Williams, the latest of the Thunder stars, to get that extension. He's agreed to a 5-year maximum rookie contract extension that could reach $287 million. The Thunder, since they won the championship, have locked up their core, their big three of SGA, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren on the extensions that kept them under contract with the Thunder through the 2030-2031 season. And let's run through the financials here. So SGA got a 4-year, $285 million contract. Chet, 5 years, $250 million. That's max value. And Jalen Williams yesterday, 5 years, $287 million max value. I'll do the math for you. That's $822 million in the span of 10 days, you guys. And I know that the Oklahoma City Thunder are looking at these three who just got the job done. And they're specifically looking at not only their production, but their age when they're making these deals. So SGA is the elder statesman. He's 26. Jalen Williams is just 24. Chet Holmgren is 23. So they're looking at this young core, and they have some veterans on some team-friendly deals and saying, we're going to make sure that these three young players who we know can get the job done are locked up with us for an extended period of time to continue to open that championship window. Courtney, when you first saw that Jalen Williams was the third domino to fall financially for the Oklahoma City Thunder, what was your reaction?
They better win 2 to 3 more titles. For a cost like that, spend nearly $1 billion on 3 players in a week. I understand why they did it. The ages that you just mentioned, the fact that they just won a title with these 3. Why would you not do it? It's not like you have somebody who's, hitting 30, somebody who's about to cross into the other side of their prime. All 3 of these guys in their development with building a team that's trying to be the next dynasty in the NBA, it all seems to align timing-wise to where you've got years of this if it goes well, if injuries aren't an issue, if you can keep pace with everybody else in the West. So I get it. I don't know how many other teams are going to follow this same model because it seems like it has to be so perfectly timed where you've got guys separated by about a year or 2. Jalen Williams on that final year of his rookie contract. It makes sense. And the cost of it, though, is going to have to yield championships, not just one, but multiple when the West is getting better and clipping at your heels, like what we saw with Denver and what they did in free agency and the Houston Rockets as well.
Victoria, what about you?
I think what Courtney mentioned 2 things that were pretty key here. If injuries aren't an issue and the perfectly timed and do the stars align here, and injuries are an ongoing thing in the NBA. They are with any professional sports team. And that is a thing that you kind of gamble with every single year. So if the stars do align with these 3 superstars, then it's a great investment. If injuries are an issue, well, they don't have a lot of wiggle room here. And by 2027-28 season, they're dishing out $149 million annually. That's not a lot of wiggle room to sustain if one or two or all three of these guys, I mean, that could be a possibility, are down and out or struggling. And winning multiple championships are really hard to do. Not a lot of teams have done it, historically speaking, and not a lot of teams have dished out this kind of dough for 3 players on the team and have been successful with it. So, I mean, not a great example, but the Phoenix Suns had a 3 superstar team and that didn't work out too well. So I feel like that is an issue. And I think the timing and aligning it's a gamble, but it could be a gamble that could work out well. It could be a gamble that they're sitting there being like, what did we do?
It's an informed gamble, right? And it is a risk, of course, because you're spending $822 million over 10 days to make sure that these 3 players are locked up. And normally, I would say, based on today's NBA, as you mentioned, the Phoenix Suns, we've seen in recent time throwing stars together, spending a lot of money, it not working. This is a very unique set of circumstances with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I think this was so smart of them to make sure that these 3 guys are going to be with them until at least 2030. And the age, of course, plays a factor. But the way the Oklahoma City Thunder and Sam Presti have built this team, organizationally, they have put themselves in a position to be able to do this. I mentioned several veteran players that are on team-friendly deals. They also still have picks. And they have these 3 guys who, yes, of course, in today's NBA, injuries are always a question. We know Chet's dealt with injuries, Jalen Williams, too, with the wrist. But if these 3 can continue to produce the way that they have, this window is going to be open for some time. And based on the shrewd moves and the position that the organization have put themselves in, they are in a unique position to weather this. They are in a unique position to be able to financially take this gamble. And to your point, though, Courtney, we look at the Boston Celtics, who locked up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and now Tatum is out with an Achilles injury, and they had to dismantle the team. I know new ownership, they're trying to get under the second apron. The financial puzzle was difficult from them. But I wonder if we're going to look back on that group specifically and say one title was underwhelming. And if we will do the same thing with the Oklahoma City Thunder, if in the wake of all of this, they lock up these 3 players for an extended period of time. If they don't bring home another title, we're going to look at this as a failure.
Yeah, absolutely, because you can't spend that much on a big 3. And we've seen how many big 3s have failed in the NBA. How many teams have, look at the one in Phoenix that just got blown up, and how the Phoenix Suns are going to be carrying Bradley Beal's contract, the wave and stretch situation of it all for the next 5-6 years.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
There's so many examples.
Prime example of it. But this was built differently. You're right. Like, they've done this in a way that's almost like, it's the antithesis of how business has been done the last 10 years in the NBA, where they're not superstar hunting in free agency. Last year, they go and get Isaiah Hartenstein as center depth. They sign they're able to get Alex Caruso via that trade when they send Josh Giddey to Chicago. They've been very prudent and shrewd in the way that they do their business, so they have the resources to be able to get all of these contracts done at the same time. It's not like you have a player on the books who is an albatross, or his contract's an albatross, and you're like, oh, how do we have to work the finances around that? We want to be able to keep all 3. Do we have to do the hard thing? Kind of like Minnesota's done, like when they let Nickeil Alexander walk in free agency. Like, they had the flexibility to get all 3 of these deals done because they were patient in their approach of building that roster. That doesn't happen all the time.
No, it does not.
In the NBA. And typically, front offices feel the pressure to get it done now. They went through the long rebuild because they had ownership that said, we see the vision. And the vision now has you 3 players under the age of 26 who are the cornerstone pieces of your franchise to continue to build around with smart, financially sound moves via the draft as well. And if that yields you 3 championships over the span of the next 10 years, then it's a cost well researched, well thought out, well paid.
Well, I think we can look at this team and look at the patience that they've had. I mean, they're this young squad that has been patient in their rebuild. They've been patient in the decisions they've made to let players go, to sign players, to make decisions that we've all kind of scratched our head a little bit. And it paid off, and it's been paying off. So I don't think they've given us a reason yet to doubt them. I think it's going to be interesting to see over the course of the next 3, 5, 10 years, how does it all play out?
She's Victoria Arlen and Courtney Cronin. I'm Michelle Smallman. And coming up next here on Unsportsmanlike, can the legend muster up one last great moment? We'll talk about it. We're going to have somebody on who's going to tell us. But first, Courtney has this from Grainger.
As you know, managing maintenance, repair, and operations is never easy, but for the ones who always rise to the challenge, Grainger has your back. From professional-grade products you can count on to fast, dependable delivery, they're there to help you keep things running smoothly. Plus, their technical product specialists are here to help you answer the toughest questions that may arise. And because Grainger knows safety is always a priority, they're committed to being your partner in protecting both your people and your facilities. Call them, 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Tomorrow on ESPN Radio.
A home run for Aaron Judge.
The NL Central leading Cubs face Aaron Judge and the Yankees.
Saturday is game day, yeah.
Coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern with first pitch at 1:05 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Is Freddie and Harry on 1050 ESPN.
Would I take Prime Rodgers over Prime Patrick Mahomes? Maybe just a little bit. But I think Patrick Mahomes' prime will last a little bit longer than Aaron Rodgers' prime when it's all said and done. But the one thing he will not have over Patrick Mahomes, he's been less than prime in the playoffs against inferior quarterbacks when it comes to Aaron Rodgers.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry. Weekdays at 3 on 1050 ESPN.
You're about to head out and your phone starts blowing up. The temptation is real. What if it's your situationship texting back? Even if it is, what are you going to do? Respond now? It's getting thirsty. You turn on Do Not Disturb. Smart move. Your roster is a train wreck, but your driving doesn't have to be. Drop it and drive. Think you could put down the phone and pick up some points? Head to itsnotagameillinois.com to play the retro arcade.
Confused by talk about tariffs? Market shifts create a unique opportunity right now. Lower new car prices combined with higher trade-in values mean potential big savings for you. With no money down and lower payments with the Easy Lease, calling now could save you thousands. 817 or 972-35-LEASE or visit online at dmautoleasing.com. D&M, the name you trust in any market.
We make leasing easy at D&M.
Ready to level up? Chumba Casino is your playbook to fun. It's free to play with no purchase necessary. Enjoy hundreds of online social games like blackjack, slots, and solitaire anytime, anywhere with fresh releases every week. Whether you're at home or on the go, let Chumba Casino bring the excitement to you. Plus, get free daily login bonuses and a free welcome bonus. Join now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Play Chumba Casino today. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21+. TNCs apply.
The biggest games. They're all right here. This is 1050 ESPN, New York.
Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
It's Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, Sirius XM Channel 80, and the ESPN app. And Unsportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance. Alongside Victoria Arlen, Courtney Cronin, I'm Michelle Smallman. And we head to Wimbledon. Brad Gilbert, our ESPN tennis analyst, is joining us now. And breakfast at Wimbledon at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and ESPN Plus today, followed by both gentlemen's semifinals live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. That's beginning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and on ESPN Deportes beginning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Brad, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for taking some time to join us. How you doing? How's Wimbledon?
It is incredibly toasty today. It's going to be in the low 90s. So fitness will be a factor. Normally, it's the rain, it's cool conditions, but not today or the rest of this weekend.
Well, I love the hat. I love you protecting yourself from the sun and the heat. And let's talk about these matches today. First, we have Taylor Fritz and Carlos Alcaraz, and then that's followed by Jannik Sinner and Novak Djokovic. So we're 2 wins away from a third straight 1-2 men's Grand Slam final, the second between Sinner and Alcaraz. And when we look at these 3 players specifically, Brad, we have Sinner or Alcaraz. They've won each of the last 6 major finals. And if you throw Djokovic in that mix, those 3 players have won 12 consecutive majors. Is that a good thing for tennis that we have these players that have been so dominant at the top?
You know what I say? It is what it is. These 2 guys, they were not handed nothing. They took it. Who would have thought after the big 3, we would get these 2 young guys? And pretty amazing at the French Open, at the start of the tournament, Alcaraz and Sinner, if you wanted to bet on them to win the tournament, they were minus 400 versus the other 126 players in the field, which included Novak Djokovic. These 2 guys have become so incredibly consistent and amazingly talented. Djokovic, I think, still is the 3rd best player at 38 years young. But I think now the biggest ask in tennis is to potentially beat Alcaraz and Sinner in back-to-back matches. And that's potentially what Novak will have to do unless Taylor Fritz can spoil the party.
Now, Brad, we have seen a lot of well-known women's players go home pretty early on with upsets after upsets and some pretty shocking matches. Which upset has shocked you the most?
You know, that's a good question. You know, the fact that we lost right away, we lost Pegula and Coco Gauff, Madison Keys, all the Americans, we had so many go out. The fact that we got Swiatek, who hasn't won a tournament in 14 months, who has won 5 majors, and the Amanda Anisimova's story is amazing. A year ago here, she lost in the qualifying, and she took a mental health break the year before for 8 months. She's played great tennis. The draw blew up. These 2 took advantage. That's the greatness of a draw. Sometimes you can blow a good draw. Sometimes you take a full advantage. That's what these 2 ladies have done. And hopefully we get a great matchup tomorrow.
Yeah, the Anisimova defeating the #1 tennis player in the world, Sabalenka. Like, what's the significance of that for U.S. tennis specifically to have a woman in the Wimbledon final?
Well, my picks yesterday, you know, I said that Swiatek would win easy, and I liked Anisimova. She had a 5-3 head-to-head against her, so it wasn't that much of a shock. And the way she's playing, the warmer conditions, I felt like at anything, you know, that match was maybe Sabalenka is a 1.5 point favorite in that, so it was not a surprise to me whatsoever. The other match, you know, I expected a blowout. That's what we got. And I think it's an unbelievable chance for Swiatek on Saturday. But the way Anisimova's playing, hey, there's been an American woman now in 4 consecutive slams, strength in numbers, 4th different one, and looking for the 3rd consecutive American to win a major this year. So American women got it going on.
Now, what's been the reaction when it comes to the switch from line judging to the tech judging from players and coaches, Brad?
Honestly, it's about frickin' time. You know, we do it at all the ATP tournaments, and when you get mad now, it's Rage Against the Machine. The machine is way better than the human eye. So listen, I'm all for it. We had one little malfunction in the round of 16 matchup where it was human error. Somebody accidentally shut off the machine, and we had that terrible call go against Pavlyuchenkova, who I call Scrabble, who ended up costing her a game. That was a travesty. They should have a backup system in place. But I will take Rage Against the Machine 7 days a week, twice on Sunday, against the human eye, because we don't have it in so many tournaments now, and a lot of these humans will make mistakes.
We're speaking with Brad Gilbert, our ESPN tennis analyst here on Unsportsmanlike. And Brad, the gentlemen's semifinal match starts at 8:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Plus. We have number 2 Carlos Alcaraz versus number 5 Taylor Fritz. Courtney asked you about the American women. Taylor Fritz looking to be the first American man to win Wimbledon since Pete Sampras did it in 2000. How do you like his chances versus Alcaraz?
It's a tough ask, but you know what? He's from San Diego, so you stay classy, San Diego. And he's playing with house money. He got out of a jam first round. He was down 2-1 and 5-1 in the 4-set breaker, and the guy had a bunny. I feel like a little bit like in poker. He's playing with house money, but albeit Carlos Alcaraz right now is a beast. The way he's playing, Fritz will have to play a great match. He'll have to take some risk on his serve, especially his second serve. He'll also have to take some risk on Alcaraz's second serve, and hope that he doesn't play anywhere near his level. But if they both play just a normal level, I got Carlos as a huge favorite. As an American, I'm rooting for Fritz, but I feel like it's a massive ask. It's like going into KC and beating Mahomes.
Yeah, if you come at the crown, you can't miss. That's what the motto's got to be for Taylor Fritz here. But from Roland Garros to Wimbledon and seeing how Alcaraz was able to grab his last major title, like what's different about him right now, or what are you seeing from him that leads you to believe that he's probably in the best position here to win on the grass in the final?
If you could imagine, ladies, Steph Curry wearing tennis clothes and doing his magic, that's what you got in Carlos Alcaraz. The guy is incredible shot maker. He's got speed to kill. And probably a little bit like Mahomes and Curry, he's so unpredictable. He can make the crazy look normal. And his high note is so incredible. His high note is higher than anybody else's. Sometimes the low note gets him in trouble, but I feel like it's just his ability to create. And on this surface, so many guys struggle with the movement, and he also can vary his paces. You got a game plan for him, and you look at your game plan, throw it out the window, because he's a game plan buster, and you got to be prepared for plan A, B, and C, and at least have a D plan if you're going to beat that guy on this surface.
Breakfast at Wimbledon, 7 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and ESPN Plus is followed by both gentlemen's semifinals live on ESPN and ESPN Plus, beginning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and on ESPN Deportes, beginning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Brad Gilbert, our ESPN tennis analyst. Great stuff. Thanks so much for joining us, and enjoy the tennis today.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Alongside Courtney Cronin and Victoria Arlen, I'm Michelle Smallman, and coming up next, we're going in the Wayback Machine. We're going to see what we were talking about a year ago today here on Unsportsmanlike, and a tease. It involves the team that Courtney Cronin covers on a daily basis in the Chicago Bears. You'll hear about that next here on Unsportsmanlike.
Monday on ESPN Radio.
Sends a rocket, and he vaporized that baseball.
The 2025 T-Mobile Home Run Derby.
Home run! Second deck! Back! Oh!
Coverage begins Monday at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds, through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at Hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. That's Hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Are you confused by talk about auto tariffs? Market shifts create a unique opportunity right now. Lower new car prices combined with higher trade-in values mean potential big savings for you. With no money down and lower payments with the Easy Lease, calling now could save you thousands. Call them at 817 or 972-35-LEASE. That's 817 or 972-35-LEASE. Or visit us online at dmautoleasing.com. D&M, the name you trust in any market.
We make leasing easy at D&M.
Ready to level up? Chumba Casino is your playbook to fun. It's free to play with no purchase necessary. Enjoy hundreds of online social games like blackjack, slots, and solitaire anytime, anywhere with fresh releases every week. Whether you're at home or on the go, let Chumba Casino bring the excitement to you. Plus, get free daily login bonuses and a free welcome bonus. Join now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Play Chumba Casino today. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21+. TNCs apply.
Stay on top of the game with the ESPN New York app. Listen live, enter exclusive contests, and enjoy all the play-by-play action.
Jalen Brunson delivers.
Don't miss our must-listen show features. Hear Chris Carlin get Chris'd off with Bart and Carlin.
I don't need that energy.
Listen to an attempt to stump Rothenberg on DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Bang!
Catch Michael K with Hit and Run all week long.
I gotta get more K.
And ENN with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Download the ESPN New York app today and never miss a moment of your favorite sports.
The U.S. Open Tennis Championships kick off with Fan Week, week one of the 3-week tennis spectacular, and admission is completely free. Catch the world's best tennis players up close as they prepare for the championships. The grounds will be buzzing all week long with live DJ sets, special guests, giveaways, and more. U.S. Open Fan Week, August 18th through August 23rd. Be part of the action. Visit usopen.org/fanweek for more info.
Hey, New Jersey, game on, get spiked. Introducing Spiked Aid, a bold vodka-based, ready-to-drink canned cocktail that's zero sugar, gluten-free, only 100 calories, and no bubbles. It's crisp, clean, refreshing, and at 4.5% ABV is always ready for fun, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Available in 4 bold flavors: electric blue, electric red, electric orange, and electric green. You bring the hustle, Spiked Aid brings the flavor. Spiked Aid, powered by vodka, for the competitor in you. Please enjoy responsibly. Spiked Inc., Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Looking for unbeatable selection and flavor? Get to Wild Fork Foods, your go-to for the widest variety of meats and seafood at wild prices. From premium beef and poultry to fresh seafood, pork, and even exotic and game meats, over 450 options, all blast frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. Visit one of the 6 convenient locations across Long Island and North Jersey, including their newest store in East Hanover, or order online for same-day delivery at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork Foods, quality meat, wild prices.
Clinton ends weekdays from 10 to noon on 1050 ESPN and the ESPN New York app.
Go back in time.
We're going back in time.
Back. Let's take a step back in time.
We're going back in time.
This is Last Year Today on Unsportsmanlike.
Tune into baseball action tomorrow as the Yankees host the Cubs, presented by Progressive Insurance. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Alongside Victoria Arlen and Courtney Cronin. I've been told I need to call you Courtney Cronin Jr.
Is that just because of the CC thing, Nuno? Or was there some other reason?
No, so Javante, if you want, we were going to save this for later, but if Javante,
my bad.
You could play this now. Do you have it, Javante? I should have asked if you had it already.
Metcalf here, now joined by David Dennis Jr., who is coming in for Courtney Cronin Jr. here on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
I didn't hear that last week.
Friend of the show, Myron Metcalf, calling you Courtney Cronin Jr.
Was his brain just thinking David Dennis Jr., Courtney Cronin Jr.? Because Myron had done I think 9 hours of radio in a span of 10 hours.
And he was leading the show, right? So when you guys were doing the show together, you were driving the show, so he had to take on that. So he was focused, he was hyper focused. We were killing him for for being a snitch and calling the cops on the kids in the neighborhood for blowing up fireworks the night before 4th of July. So there's a lot going on for poor Myron.
He said he didn't have enough time to warm up by the 9 o'clock hour. So
He had 3 hours to warm up because I
That's
always
what we
drive
said.
when we're
Sometimes
together.
it takes a while, you know? Sometimes it takes a while to get in the flow.
I thought you were going to say Courtney Cronin Jr. because usually the person whose seat I'm sitting in, he's the original CC. So
Yes.
whenever I'm driving and I'm listening to ESPN 1000 in Chicago and I hear Evan Cohen say CC, I know he's not referring to me. I know that I am like the tier 3 CC. There's probably somebody else.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. I go, Chris Canty, Caitlin Clark, me. So I thought that that's where you were going with
Canty
that.
will be thrilled you put him over Caitlin Clark, by the way. That he's
I'm
number one
sure.
in the power rankings. But he's earned it. He's a Super Bowl
I'm sitting
champion.
in his chair today. I've got to give him his flowers while I'm
well,
here.
You are sitting in this chair today, which is great for us, not only because we love having you, but because we need to talk about the Chicago Bears. And for those who don't know, because Courtney Cronin wears a lot of hats, you see her on First Take, you see her all over the place. She's here with us on Unsportsmanlike, but she also covers the Chicago Bears for us here at ESPN. And ladies, we do this segment where we go back a year ago today and we see what we were talking about, what the takes were, and if they still hold up today. And it's been a humbling experience. I'm not going to lie. Some of these takes that we've had a year ago did not come to fruition. But this one is interesting because this one may still be relevant today. Here is us a year ago on Unsportsmanlike, July 11th, 2024, me specifically, and what I had to say about the expectations surrounding Caleb Williams entering year one. We know when it comes to drafting quarterbacks, it's essentially a coin flip. That you can have all the talent in the world at the collegiate level. That does not mean that it's going to translate at the NFL level. And there is no reason right now on the surface to look at Caleb Williams and his situation in Chicago and think it won't be a success. Except for the fact that 50% of the time, these highly drafted quarterbacks are not a success. And I just keep wondering, guys, what happens in Chicago if Caleb Williams isn't that guy? Courtney, after year one, how would you categorize Caleb Williams with the Chicago Bears? How was year one?
It was a roller coaster. I mean, everything that they expected. And I remember last year at this time, you go back 365 days, everybody's talking about how he walked into the perfect situation, that a number one overall pick at quarterback had never had the infrastructure around him. And I think that that was people not accounting for a play caller who had an offense that was not going to fit what a rookie quarterback needed. Shane Waldron came from the Geno Smith Seattle Seahawks offense, which for a veteran quarterback was probably easy for him to execute than a quarterback who was in a spread offense at USC and at Oklahoma, and an offense that allowed him to be Superman because he didn't have to play within structure. They didn't have a great offensive line. The receiving core was all over the place, and we can nitpick how we felt about it, but I think the thing that you brought up that I resonate with the most is that this is a crapshoot. It always is, every single year. And the way that the Bears have course corrected this offseason to put Caleb in a far better situation, going out and getting the most sought after head coach the last 2 cycles in Ben Johnson, going out and flipping the interior of the offensive line in a week, going out and drafting 2 pass catchers with your top 2 picks. They've told you through their actions, we screwed up a year ago. We really didn't have the right insulation for a quarterback who needed it. Now, all of that to say, this year, your move, Caleb. That's how it has to be viewed because of everything that the Bears have done to put him in a better situation. At some point, the excuses for the quarterback are null and void if he can't rise above a certain level and carry his team further than a 5-win season a year ago.
So, Victoria, Courtney just outlined it. Heading into last year, we talked so much about how Caleb Williams, as a number one overall pick, was walking into a situation that was far more advantageous than most of his peers that are selected in that position. It wasn't great in year one, the Bears acknowledging their flaws and how they contributed to that. Now he's in a better situation with more protection. The head coach he wanted, as Courtney said, the hottest guy on the block that Caleb campaigned for, he got him.
Yeah.
With all that being said, then, what are the fair expectations in your mind for Caleb entering year two?
Well, I think the thing is, being a number one overall pick, there's a blessing and a burden to that, right? Because the pressure to you have to essentially show up and be that guy. And you're supposed to be that guy because you're the number one pick, but you're also making a massive leap from college to the pros, which comes with its flaws. It comes with an adjustment. It comes with you're no longer in the safe space of college anymore. And so there was the same conversation of will he or won't he be the number one pick. And so I think, like Courtney painted the picture, he wasn't put in the best position, but now he is. And so it is on Caleb. And we have seen the lightning strike in moments where he is really good. We have seen moments where there are flaws. We have seen moments where, okay, it's there if you squint your eyes. I mean, he did win a Heisman, for goodness sake. You don't just win a Heisman for nothing. So it is on him because Chicago has set him up to be successful, but he still has to show up and be successful too. So I think you can't say, oh, he's a rookie. He's making that, the transition from college now. No, he's in his sophomore year in the NFL now. They have given him what he wants. They have listened to what he needs. Now he needs to show up and say, hey, I've got this.
The graphic you said a second ago, is this year make or break for Caleb Williams? I say no. Because we did this with Trevor Lawrence. How many rookie seasons did he get? People cherry pick based on where you were drafted. It's interesting because we didn't do it with Bryce Young. Look, he got benched last year, and it might have been the best thing to save his career.
Yes.
But there was talk early on in the season, man, this guy's teetering on bust territory 2 years in. Some people were thinking that they're ready to pull the plug in Carolina, yet in Jacksonville, every season we're like, oh, there's too much dysfunction. Nothing was right for Trevor Lawrence. This is effectively his rookie season. Yes. It's somewhere in the middle for Caleb Williams. He can't be bad this year. You did too much to make everything better for him. At some point, the talent's got to match what you thought you were drafting when you picked him number one overall. But to say, I've seen people talk about, I know we're going to have Mike Tannenbaum on in a little bit, that he has the most pressure on him of any quarterback in the NFC North. I don't see it. I don't see it. He's learning a brand new offense with a coach who came here because of him. Totally. There's going to be growing pains.
It's not make or break per se. I think it's what are you capable of now in the pros? Maybe it's a breakout season for him potentially.
Well, I think what's working against Caleb, guys, is not only is there massive pressure on him because of what he accomplished in college, where he was picked in the NFL draft, the fact that the Chicago Bears have not had a franchise quarterback in my lifetime and many other people's lifetimes, but concurrently, the Bears passed on C.J. Stroud, who has transformed the Houston Texans and taken them to the playoffs in back-to-back years. And they could have taken Jaden Daniels, who transformed the Washington Commanders from a 4-win team to a team who was in the Final Four last year. So, Courtney, how much does that impact what we view as successful for Caleb? The fact that these two other quarterbacks, and by the way, that doesn't even take into account Bo Nix's success and what he can do this year. Drake May looks like he's going to be the guy. What if Michael Penix Jr. steps up this year in a really big way for Atlanta? His peers and quarterbacks that the Bears could have taken in lieu of him are having success. How does that contribute to the way we view him?
We will always view him based on who they could have drafted. It goes with anybody, but specifically to Caleb, they had the number one overall pick in 2023. That could have been Bryce Young. That could have been C.J. Stroud. They decided to trade that pick to Carolina to do other things with their roster. They certainly felt a type of way about Caleb that they didn't feel about Jaden Daniels because they didn't do any homework on him. They didn't have him in on a top 30 visit. They knew that Caleb was their guy in early April 2024, and they rolled with it. So their success will always be measured against his or vice versa. However, I don't think he has to have a Jaden Daniels type season in 2025 to justify that he was a good pick for your team. There is not an NFC Championship expectation for this Bears team. There wasn't for Washington. They were a 4-win team before Jaden Daniels got there. However, because of the state of the NFC North, if we're being realistic about this, can you get to 9 wins? Can you get to 8 wins? That's considered success for a team that has not had a winning record in a very long time. And it doesn't have to be an apples-to-apples comparison of, oh, Jaden Daniels did this. If you don't hit this bar, you're a failure.
Right.
I don't view it that way.
Just need some progress. Just need to take those incremental steps forward. Alongside Courtney Cronin and Victoria Arlen, I'm Michelle Smallman. And coming up next, our very own Chris Canty had quite the take yesterday. Quite the NFL take. I feel like that's an evergreen statement, right? Canty's always saying stuff to get us talking. But would Bryce Young leading the Panthers to the NFC South as the NFC South crown, as Canty predicted yesterday, be the best storyline in the NFL? We'll discuss it next on Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
The NFL on ESPN Radio.
Joe Burrow has to be perfect, and he damn near was last year, and it wasn't good enough.
Camp to camp, team to team.
Warming up. This is I just wanna feel this moment.
The countdown continues on ESPN Radio.